Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Ulster County Executive Mike Hine and the Ulster County Economic Development Alliance, welcome. We're pleased you could join us for the second installment of our three-part webinar series for restaurant owners and managers focused on growing your business and increasing profits. Before we begin, just a few logistical items. Those of you that are new to the GoToWebinar platform, I'll point out some features that you'll maybe want to use during the session today. By now, if you can hear me, you figured out how to join the audio portion of the webinar. Your registration confirmation email contained a link that will also allow you to follow along on your computer as we move through the presentation contents. You should see our title slide up now, and it'll move through as we go through the presentation. As we go through the presentation, note that you'll be in listen-only mode. That prevents any background noise from interfering with the audio portion of the presentation. If you have a question, you can use the chat feature in the GoToWebinar panel. That panel may be hidden. You can hide it and unhide it with the small red button with a white arrow that's probably in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. When you open it up, you'll see a panel that allows you to ask questions, a chat window that's there in the panel, and as you enter your questions, they'll come through to us, and if we receive some, we'll take a pause and give some responses to those questions. At the end of the session, if there are other questions, we can open it up for audio and unmute your lines, and you can ask them verbally if you'd like. We will wrap up by 11 o'clock a.m., so be sure that we'll finish up on time. Now, let me introduce our local restaurant guru, Janet Irizarry. Janet is a business consultant who specializes in restaurants. She works with existing businesses to help solve the problems they're facing and works with new businesses to get them up and running and avoid the costly mistakes that often are made by first-time restaurant entrepreneurs. She has a track record of over 35 years of owning and operating successful restaurants, has written several industry white papers, and is a contributing columnist for the Food, Wine, and Spirits section of the Hudson Valley News Network. In her spare time, she also volunteers for Duchess Outreach's Lunchbox program and is involved with Rescuing Leftover Cuisine, both local organizations dedicated to feeding the hungry in our community. Today's session is all about using the internet to gain visibility and attract customers. And Janet has put together a highly informative and practical presentation that we hope will give you some immediate actions you can take and put into place in your restaurant business to make it even more successful. Now I'm happy to turn the mic over to Janet. Janet, thank you for putting together today's session.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to be here. I hope everyone had a good weekend and somehow got to make good use of that extra hour we got. Tim, thank you again for having me. It's very exciting to be offering this webinar series with the Ulster County Economic Alliance and the County Executive Mike Hine. I'm very happy to be back, and for everyone who is either joining us for the second time or joining us for the first time. Our first webinar, we talked about the 10 steps you can take right now to increase your profits. If you missed it, it is up on the Ulster County website. You could also get in touch with us and we'll send you the link. I know a few of you reached out with questions. I'm still available for questions if you need. I'm sure you're not seeing results yet. It takes a little while for all this to get into place, but you should feel really good about moving your business forward and starting implementing some of these steps. Today, I'm going to talk about how to make sure that you are visible on the internet and that people can find your business even if they know nothing about you. We also are going to talk a lot about what people are seeing once they see your business online. Since most people will check you out online before they even step foot in your business, it is important to make sure that you are making a really good impression. This is how you attract customers and increase sales by leveraging the power of the internet. On December 5th, we're going to be talking about how to get involved in the community and build those business relationships that will bring you more business. The strategies we'll talk about in that particular webinar include working with non-for-profits and giving back to the community, and working with organizations such as the Chamber of Commerce and the tourism. I will also talk about the importance of getting out of your business on a regular basis. Yep, you can all look forward to that. And turning the people that you're meeting on the outside into your biggest supporters and people who will promote your restaurant. Now, for those who were not at on the webinar last time, let me just, I wanted to show you my credentials again. I've been in the restaurant business for over 40 years. And the most important thing is the information I'm sharing with you on these webinars are all taken from my personal experience, a lot of which came from trial and error. Right now, my time is spent helping clients both in new restaurant openings and with those already up and operating. As Chris mentioned, for a new restaurant, I help them avoid costly mistakes that they often occur during the startup phase of a restaurant, and I help them implement systems that will make sure they're set up for long-term success. For an existing business, I help them solve the problems that may be getting in the way of them making money and being successful and that are causing them stress. All these practices, all these practices are ones I use in my own business, and I use helping others, the ones we're going to talk about today. And they don't happen automatically. That's my favorite word, automatically. Someone has to do them, either you or someone like myself who can devote the time to it. Well, all I can say is marketing has changed a lot over the past 50 years. For me, it's changed a lot since I owned my own restaurants. Back then, you advertised. It was relatively simple, but it wasn't cheap. If I want to place an ad, what I would do is call up the account executive of either the yellow pages or newspapers and tell them what I needed. And basically, they'd design an ad for me. They'd put it in their publication. I'd pay them, and it was done. Today, it's a lot more confusing. The good news is that the internet extends your reach. You can reach so many more people. So it allows your marketing campaigns to reach more people, and they're also very affordable. The bad news is it's much more difficult to do. There are so many pieces to the marketing puzzle and using the internet. And it is also much easier, if you're not doing correctly, to lose business to those who know how to do it and are doing it great on the internet. The problem I see over and over again is that so many restaurant owners are lost. And you're probably on this webinar because maybe you feel that you're lost and struggle with it also. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it, and you should give yourself a big pat on the back now for educating yourself and finding out more about it. But I'm going to be honest, the intent of this webinar is to teach you what you need to know about claiming your presence and having customers find you. But that doesn't necessarily mean you should be doing it yourself. Running the restaurant takes a lot of different skills than it does to be marketing your restaurant on the internet. And it takes a lot of time to learn how to do it correctly. In this webinar, you're going to learn some of the basics. Some of the material we're going to go over you can use on your own. Some of the material I'm going to have you take back to your web designer and have him work with you on it. As far as the social media portion of it, I strongly suggest that you work with someone like myself who specializes in it. This is a webinar 101 course, basically. The goal for today is for you to learn 4 strategies to increase your exposure on the internet and make sure you are giving a good first impression. I promise that in the course of this webinar, you will have a much better understanding of how to gain more exposure to your restaurant and how critical this exposure is and a good online presence is for increasing your sales and for growing your business. Okay, with that in mind, let's get started. How many of you out there have actually gone on the internet and researched yourself? This is a great exercise to do, and I would suggest making a note to yourself right now and doing it when we get off of the webinar. What you're going to do is pretend that you're visiting let's say you're a tourist and you're visiting the area and you're looking for a good place to go eat. Put the words that describe your restaurant in the Google search box and see what comes up. Now, when you do this, try not to use the name of your restaurant. If your restaurant does not come up on the first page, first write down who does, because this is the competition. This is who you want to get in front of on the page. Next, try the search with your name and see what comes up, and you should come up at that point. Well, so what you're going to be doing is you're going to want to find out, can your business be easily found on the internet? This is part of your web presence. Once they find you, what are they seeing? And last, are you engaging and being social with people online? This is all part of your online presence, and this is what we're going to work on through the course of this webinar. When we talk about online presence, this is what I mean. This is, if I Google my business, everywhere where there's a yellow check mark, it means my business is coming up. And what that means is the search engines have found me. On the left-hand side, you'll see all the results that come up, and they all link to either my website, a video, my Facebook page. On the right side is information regarding my business. Well, not on the right side, I'm sorry, in the middle with the big check mark. On the right side is, if you go into Google Images, you'll see that all those pictures in Google Images I'm associated with. And I'm going to teach you how to do this. Oops, sorry. All right. There are 3 strategies to gain visibility. 1, you have to optimize your website to appear in organic searches, and we're going to learn what an organic search is in 1 second. 2, we're going to create a positive first impression online, so when people do find you, what are they seeing? And 3, we're going to use social media to gain exposure and attract new customers. So the first step in claiming your business online is to focus on your website and your page ranking. So when someone does a search for you, how do you come up on the first page? We're going to first go over some definitions to get you started. You might have heard these terms before, but I want to simplify them so you truly understand what they mean, because they're important to grasp the whole concept of our next section. What is an organic search? When you go to Google and you put a bunch of words into the Google search bar, that is called an organic search. You're not actually putting the name of the business in, and you're also not you're going to find searches that you don't pay for advertising. What is a search engine? It's very simply an answer machine. So when you place your Google search in the Google bar, the search engine's going to come up with answers for you. SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. And what that is, it's a form of marketing which helps your odds of being found in one of those organic searches. So search engine optimization is going to help you. You're going to use keywords in order to make sure that your restaurant is found. And that's our next phrase, is a keyword. What is a keyword? A keyword is a word or a phrase that helps your potential customer find you. So those are all keywords in the search bar. Let's say that you were going on a vacation and you were going to Florida and you were going to the Magic Kingdom. You might ask Google, what's the name of a good Italian restaurant that's by Disney World? So Italian is a search word, restaurants is a search word or a keyword, Disney World is a keyword, and just the word Disney by itself. You would put those all in to your Google search bar and find, does your restaurant appear? What restaurants would appear? So your job with keywords is to get your business to come up first in organic searches. Examples of keywords. These are a bunch, they're actually strings of words that are put together, and that's what can sometimes be confusing. You think a keyword is actually just one word. It's actually a string of words that people would look for you and put into those Google searches. I have a little exercise for you. If you have a pen, this is really helpful. Why don't you take a couple minutes and think about words that might describe your restaurant. So, are you family dining? Do you have outdoor seating? What's on your menu? Are you close to some kind of entertainment venue, such as a ball field or a performing arts center? Have you been noted and had the best wings around? Do you do rehearsal dinners? Do you have specialty items on your menu that might be gluten-free? Take a few moments and just write down a bunch of words that describe your business. Okay. I hope you put down a few. It's a start. It takes some thinking. I would say maybe after the webinar at some point during the week, take a half an hour. I will give you a suggestion also. In the exercise we did before, which I suggested you research your restaurant by putting words into a Google search, look back, and if your restaurant didn't come up when you put those words down, look at the restaurants that did and go onto their website and see some of the keywords they may be using. Now that you have these keywords, well, you're going to go back to your web designer, whoever's helping you with your website, and you're going to have them help you incorporate these keywords into your website. And these keywords are going to go into specific locations. One is the titles. Two are pictures. If you go back to the picture I showed you of Google Images, where I Googled myself, and you saw all those pictures came up because I had put keywords on those pictures. And they're hidden from the public, but they're indexed by the Google searches. So make sure you have names and keywords on your pictures. In your content, this is especially important on your first page. So on your first page, you should have a section that tells the story about you, or tells who you are, what you do, and use those keywords in the content throughout your website. Title tags and meta tags, which you probably are not familiar with, but I'm going to let you know a little bit about them so you can go back to your web designer. He's going to think, wow, you are so smart. Where'd you get this information? What is a title tag? And for you're not web designers, and you probably don't know what these are, but they should be placed on every page, and your web designer will absolutely know where they are. They're a little bit hidden if you're new to design. But what your title tag is basically the title you see right up here. It's the first things that are going to catch who's ever visiting that page. It's going to catch their eyes, and it's going to tell them who and what you are. Below is the meta tag, and basically that's a description of your business. And this should be filled with content that gets the visitor wanting to click and go into your website. And from there, what happens is they are actually a virtual customer when they're on their website. But as they go through your website, you're hoping that they see what they like and they want to come in and actually become a real customer and spend money. So part one, or step one, in claiming your business is to make sure you're using keywords in appropriate places so that your business is found in organic searches. The second step is to be registered with all the different search engines and online directories. And that's claiming your business. This is a small portion of all the search engines and directories out there. And I'm sure you're familiar with each one of these that I have on the screen. And these are the most important ones. And claiming your business online means verifying all your business listings on these search engines and directories. So the claiming process has you verify that you are the owner of a valid business and authorized to maintain its presence on the web. Each online business directory or listing has its own claiming process and has its unique ways of verifying. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is Google for Business. So in order to claim your Google business, which is basically what you're seeing right here, and is important because Google also has its own review site, you want to make sure that all of this information here is correct and all the pictures you see are correct also. And the process of doing this is you're going to go to Google My Business and you're going to see this box right here where the arrow is pointed and you're going to click on it. And after you click on it, it's going to come up with a screen such as this. And as you can see, here it gives you the chance to edit your information and it has your ability to add photos. Most importantly is to review. Don't be surprised if there's already information populated even though you haven't claimed your business yet. Because once again, Google search engines populate some of that for you. But it's really important to make sure that it's correct. You want to make sure the business name is correct and spelled correctly. You want to make sure the address is correct, phone number, website, what category you're in, and all the other details. This is where accuracy really counts. And this is where accuracy counts as you claim your business and all the directories. They need to match. So how do you find out all the directories? Well, once again, you can go back and look at this webinar online, or I'm happy to send you the slide set so you can actually look at most of the directories and figure out which ones are most important to get to first. But it's very simple. I'm going to show you. For Yelp, I put in the search box, claim Yelp. That's all I put in. And what I got was a page that says claim your business, and it will go through the step-by-step process you need to claim your business on Yelp. So you can go back to all those business directories that I showed you, OpenTable, Bing, and basically do the same thing one by one and make sure that your business gets claimed online. Now that you've claimed your business and people can actually find you and all your information on the web is accurate, the most important thing you can do is make a good impression. Because as we noted before, people are going to go online and check you out before they even step foot in your restaurant. So what do you do in order to have a good impression and make sure that people want to come and visit your business? The first thing you need is a professional website and also a great reputation. So let's talk about your website. Websites are more than a place just to show your menu. Websites allow customers to gather the necessary information to be able to figure out whether they want to take the next step and We all know what that is. That's to come in and spend money. That's the whole point. Most people will visit your website before they even step foot through your actual front door. So put simply, if your pages lack clarity, excitement, when a visitor arrives on your website, regardless of what the keywords they put in were to find you, they're going to move on to the next website if they don't find you appealing, or they don't find what you have on the website clear, or they just don't find it interesting. What do you need for a good website? There are some must-haves for your website. The first is simple navigation, and that just simply means to make sure it's easy for your customers to find what they're looking for. As you can see right here, everything is clear. If you're looking for the menu, it's easy to find. If they want to see pictures, if they're looking for discounts, it's easy for the customer to find what they're looking for. Next is rich content. And what I mean by rich content is we're using those keywords we talked about in the previous segment. The content should be updated. Make sure that you're putting on the specials that are happening right then and there in your restaurant. Make sure you're not advertising Christmas when it's Mother's Day. Make sure you're constantly updating your website with new information. Second, you want to make sure you have maps and directions, and of course it's important so people can locate where you are. But secondly, with everyone searching restaurants on smartphones, it's important to have your maps and directions right there where they click on it, and it will take them directly to the map. It eliminates one step, one obstacle in the way in getting to your restaurant, and it makes it simple for people to find you. Social proof just means they'd like to see that you're connected to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, which isn't on here, but we're going to talk about, because I'm going to want to check you out there too. Quality pictures. This is a beautiful picture over here, nice and clear, looks good. I don't know, makes me want to go eat at that restaurant. Well, it's not quite lunchtime yet, but if you can't get quality pictures for your website, I suggest not putting on any at all. Right now, our phones do an amazing job, and if you take the time and effort, you probably can use pictures right off your cell phone. Second, you want to make sure, of course, you have menus because people want to know what you have to offer. And second, you want to be mobile friendly. Let's go into a couple of these right now. I'm not sure if everyone understands what a PDF is, so I just want to explain it to you. A PDF is a document that cannot be changed unless you have certain software. It's not a Word document that can be modified. So what happens when you're using a PDF, search engines can't pick it up. We just talked about those keywords. And since it's essentially a hard copy of your menu, it will not get indexed by the search engine. So you need to have your menu on your website in the content and not as a PDF. And I'll let you know, nobody downloads a menu off your website anyway, so PDFs are really insignificant and just a waste of time having them. Second is mobile friendly. It is also called responsive. If people visit your website on their phone, do they just get a miniature version like this, or is it easy to read? It's important that your website is easily read on a phone. I think it's 94% of people use their smartphones in order to do Google searches. If they're looking at your restaurant website, let's take the desktop-based website version you see on your left-hand side. I don't know, if I'm looking at that, I'm totally bored. It's too much work to figure out what's going on, and I'm going next. That's why your website should be mobile friendly. In this day and age, most softwares actually it makes it very simple to make your website mobile friendly, but just make sure it is, and this is something you need to talk to your web designer about if in fact it's not. All right, you're being found. People see your website, it looks great, and now they want to find out what others think of you. So managing your online reputation is more important now than it's ever been. Star rating is the #1 factor used by consumers to judge a business. Wow, that's scary. Let's look at some of these statistics. So what people are saying about your company online has become the single most important reflection of your company's quality, reliability, and product. 57% of consumers would use a business with a star rating of three stars. Compare that to a 94% rating of consumers who would use a business with a 4-star rating. That's an amazing, huge difference. 80% of consumers trust reviews as much as personal recommendations. What does that mean? Well, your absolutely #1 marketing priority should be developing a 5-star online reputation. And why? Put it this way. All your other marketing efforts, whether they be online, such as the search engine optimization we just talked about, the social media we're going to talk about in a second, doing direct mail, paying for ads and advertising in magazines or on radio or on TV, well, they're going to ultimately lead to the potential customer going to the web to learn more about you. That means they're going to want to see what others are saying about you. Once they are there looking at your reviews, if it's less than glowing or if it's actually non-existent, they're probably going to steer away from you and seek an alternative where they know something about and feel a little bit more confident or a lot more confident is that where they're going, they're going to have a positive experience. So I urge you to take another look at these statistics and see how important they are for your business and how we can build a more confident consumer who wants to visit your business. There's a lot of platforms out there that have ratings, but these are the most used and have the most reviews, and so therefore we're going to focus our efforts on these 4 areas. Oh, I probably should go back to those real quick. So we have Yelp, which you're probably familiar with, TripAdvisor, there's Google, and Facebook. So these are the ones that you want to pay most attention to. The important thing about reputation management is that you really need to be proactive rather than reactive. And how do you do that? First of all, understand that you cannot take off a negative review. So the idea behind reputation management is to stack the deck in your favor by getting as many positive reviews as you possibly can. How do you get positive reviews? Well, first and foremost, you have to earn it. There's no way about it. That means you have to do whatever you can to wow the customer. And that means making them want to tell their friends about you, making them want to go out and put a review. I mean, really, if you go out to a restaurant and you don't have a great experience and someone asks you to write a review, would you do it? That's your credibility. You're not going to write a good review unless you really had a good time. So there's 3 steps to managing your online reputation. The first step is to ask for the review. Secondly, you want to monitor the review. And then you also want to follow up with reviewers, especially if they're negative. How do you ask for a review? Well, first, you want to do it at checkout or before your customer leaves your restaurant while the experience is still fresh in their mind. And it's not just asking, how was everything? Because what are they going to say? They always say, oh, it's fine. You have to ask a question that hopefully they don't have a yes or no answer at. And say, did you find everything up to your expectations tonight? What did you like most about dinner? What did you like least? Really get down and ask. First, if they tell you they didn't have a good time and it wasn't up to their expectation, this gives you the opportunity to solve the problem or make up for the problem before they walk out the door. Because when they walk out the door, they might want the whole world to know what they experienced. And you want to stop that, nip that in the butt before it even happens. You know, a customer usually wants to be heard. And if they're not heard in your restaurant, they're going to go out and let someone else know about the experience. So not only do you have a chance to turn a positive into a negative and wow the customer by caring, you also have the opportunity to get some great feedback from the customer to find out what you might be doing wrong. Because honestly, for every one customer that says something that they didn't like about your restaurant, there's countless, not countless others, but there's usually others feeling the same thing. So find out about it and use it to improve your restaurant. So ask someone at checkout. And if they said they had a positive experience, had a great time, say, hey, when you get home, would you mind giving us a review on, name whichever website you want. You don't want to ask them to do all of them, but, you know, would you like to review us on Yelp? The second thing you can do is actually nudge a customer. You could provide business cards or postcards and put them in the check holder, and on one side of those cards, maybe offer a free dessert next time they come back. And on the other side of the postcard, maybe be straightforward and just say something. Thank you for your patronage. We truly value your opinion, and please, would you mind taking a moment and going online and giving us a review on either Yelp, TripAdvisor, or Facebook? So what you're doing is you're actually nudging them. I mean, will all customers do it? No, but sometimes you just need to plant the seed. And if they had a really good time, they really will enjoy doing this for you. Next is a thank you email. I suggested in the last webinar, and if you're not doing it, this is really, I think, your biggest marketing tool to start your database, to keep in touch with customers, and that is having a comment card that asks how customers' visits were. And you also ask for their email address. So as the customer leaves the restaurant and you look at that comment card and they said they had a great time, send them a thank you email for coming in to dinner and suggest that they possibly, if they had a great time, leave a review on one of the websites, the review sites. And you can actually leave a link. So it makes it really, really easy for them to get on their website, the review site, and leave a nice review. The other thing you can do is put a widget on your website, and that's just on your website, wherever, put the TripAdvisor widget or a Yelp widget, and that will also encourage people to go to your website. And that's also great for people who are visiting your website, and if you have great reviews, like we hope you do, that a customer who is finding your website for the first time and clicks on Yelp and goes and sees that you have 4 or 5-star reviews, say no more. They're your customer now. They're coming in to see you. The other part about monitoring your review sites, about an online reputation, you've got to monitor what's going on. So I suggest logging into your sites daily to see if new reviews have been left. You can also set up what are called Google Alerts. And if you haven't done this already, it's a great idea. Go to googlealerts.com and put your name in a search bar. And what Google is going to do is anytime your name comes up on the internet in new content, whether it's a review site, in a newspaper article, you're going to get emails sent directly to you to tell you about this. It's interesting. It's a lot of fun. You can also put on in other restaurants around town. You can set up as many Google alerts as you want. So it's great to keep on top of what's happening in the community. I actually use it to find out about different food trends and new restaurant openings. Next is your all those directories. I know Yelp does it, TripAdvisor does it. They have a notification system that you can set up that will notify you if a review has been posted. And this way you can get on top of it as quickly as possible and see a review just as it happens. So what if you get a bad review? We all do. We all can't be perfect. It's really important that you follow up with the customer as soon as possible. And you got to do that in two ways. First, you got to apologize publicly on the review site. Assure we're really sorry that you didn't have an enjoyable time. We hope you will join us again. We're working on this problem, something as simple as that. And then if you can get to the customer and address them privately, it's recommended. And here is a short letter that I have restaurants I work with send out if they get a negative review. I'm happy to send this to you, but it basically, I'll read it quickly because I think it's important. And it just says, "Dear customer, I would like to apologize on behalf of all of us at the restaurant, whatever the restaurant you are. Your input and feedback is very important to us. It may not have been apparent to you at the time, but we strive to have all our guests' expectations met every visit. I'm sorry to hear that you had a bad experience and we did not meet your needs. Your feedback is very important to us, and I would welcome the opportunity to speak to you about the problem you encountered and hopefully find a way to see that this does not happen again." And so on and so on. And hopefully they'll contact you and you can make it up to them. Okay. So now let's talk about how to use social media to attract customers. And the two best ways to do this are through Facebook and Instagram. Once again, there's a few others out there, but these are the ones I want to focus on right now. First of all, when you're using social media, you have to remember that friendship is not one big thing. It's a million little things. So friendships don't happen overnight. How many times did it take you to make a new friend? How many touches? You went out to coffee with them, you talked on the phone, you Facebooked them, you met out for dinner. It takes a little time to form a relationship. The other thing is you have to limit your selling as you're using the social media avenues. You have to be interesting. You have to engage with your followers. You have to look professional. You have to be consistent. And you have to, I suggest, use some paid advertising. So what should you be posting? We're going to use Facebook as an example. Post interesting food news. Once again, set up a Google alert and to talk about, to alert you to new food trends or things that are happening in the news, and post it on your website. Contests work. Get people engaged by entering to win something. Put a recipe on. This I just put on my Facebook page the other day. The best 17 cocktails to pair with your Thanksgiving dinner. And then I asked my followers if they had a favorite. Customers having fun. Nothing's better than seeing people have a good time at your restaurant. Specials and promotions. These are all things that you could be posting, changing it up to make your Facebook page interesting. So engaging on Facebook, what you want to do. Well, these are 4 of the things that you can do that you don't have to pay for. This is through your fan base. You want people to like you, because the more time they like you, the more relevant Facebook deems you are, and the more people it will show your posts to. You want to share your posts. You want to get people to like your post so much that they're going to share it. And I'll give you an example. The contest I ran, the restaurant that I did that for, they had like 18 people send it to 18 of their friends or share it on their Facebook page. That's great. That's free advertising. That's more people knowing about you every day. You want people to review your Facebook? You on Facebook? And how about this? Does everybody know about the check-in feature on Facebook? If you can get your customers to check in on Facebook, it's priceless. And I'm going to give you an example. I went out this weekend for a restaurant week. I went to a restaurant, and I checked into the restaurant that I was eating at. The next day, I talked to my best friend on the phone, and she asked me how the restaurant was. I had never told her about it. But she knew it because I had put it out to all my Facebook friends. So think about the value of that, and that's your customers doing the advertising for you. So just quickly to go back to these, if you put an article on, you hope people will like it, you hope people share, review, check in, you have a group of people having a great time, make sure they check in and post a picture. Your specials, hopefully they'll like it, and then people will share your promotions. So I got to ask you quickly also to think about your marketing budget. Do you know that it's recommended that you spend 3% to 6% of your revenue on your marketing budget? Okay, I'm not going to ask by a show of hands who's doing that. But if your restaurant is doing $750,000 a year in revenue, that means that you should be spending about $22,000 to $44,000 a year on your budget. Anybody doing that? That looks like about $2,000 a month. Well, the good news is you really don't have to spend that much money when you're using social media. But between all the ways you're advertising, using your web designer, doing print advertising, taking a table at an event, taking a banner at a ball field, it adds up. But you need to be putting that money back into your business, because really, just because you build it doesn't mean they'll come. So with that in mind, we're going to speak about paid advertising. And there's two different ways of paying for advertising. Very affordable. I'm saying the average restaurant could spend between $30 and $50 a week and get some great results. First of all, does everyone know what a post is? When I refer to it on Facebook, this is a post right here. It goes into someone's news feed directly, and I posted about this webinar on my Facebook page, as you can see. Down here, you have the option to boost a post, and that's a way of paid advertising. So there's my post. There's how I boost it, and when I boost it, what happens is I get away the ability to target who I want to send this post to, who's going to see it in their news feed right here. And I also get the opportunity to set a budget for it. So you can target your audience, and you can create a budget and duration. And once again, this is a very successful way of getting affordable. Next, there is Facebook ads, which are a little bit more complicated. So here is where the post is. The ads are on the right side of Facebook, and they're a little bit more targeted. And the way you would do this, I'm going to just go through this quickly, is that there's a little pull-down menu right here on the right-hand side of your Facebook page. And when you do that, you can see a link that, a tab that you can go, and it will help you create an ad. And then it's going to ask you a bunch of questions, and basically you're just going to go through it, and it will take you step by step to create the ad with the objective you want. So your objective might be to get people to come into your restaurant. It might be to increase the number of people in your database. It might be to talk about an event that you're having. It might be just to bring awareness to your brand. So you can be so specific that you can granularly look at the demographics. You can target by interests, you know, who likes food and goes out to restaurants a lot. You can household incomes, whether they go to college, if they have a student in college. Once again, everything on the web and on Facebook. Facebook's drawing all that information when you created your profile, your personal profile, all the information you put in. Facebook is drawing out, and that's how they give you the ability to really get granular in your Facebook marketing. The next we're going to talk about, and if you don't have an Instagram account, this is why you need one. Instagram has 4 million monthly active users and is growing at 10% faster, or 10 times faster than Facebook or Twitter. Instagram posts gets 308% more engagement on Facebook than Facebook, and over 1,000% more than on Twitter. This is the place to be, and my goal here is to show you how to set up an account real quickly. Basically, put in the Google search, set up an Instagram account. And once you do that, look at that. They're going to walk you through setting up an Instagram account. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter has all these how-to-do things. And if you're interested in learning what to do, you can go on their website and Google whatever you want, and they'll give you step-by-step. For those of you who aren't using Instagram, I have some restaurants that are using it so well, and they're getting such results. And I would say the first step is to set it up right away, and then start to use it slowly. The first thing you want to do, once again, you don't want it all to be about you. There's a bunch of different things you can post, but let me just give you food for thought. Pictures of your food, but make sure they're good pictures and look appetizing like this one does. How about your customers? Take pictures of your customers having a good time, or better yet, have your customers take pictures of their good time and post it to their Instagram page and tag you on it. Behind scenes, in this day and age, people love to know what's going on around in the kitchen behind your scenes. And to give a little bit, to build a better relationship, show them what's going on and show them the delicious things you are making in the back of your house, and show them how clean your kitchen is. How about that one? And once again, with Instagram is a great venue for starting contests. And once again, set up the first step is just to set up your Instagram account. And then slowly but surely learn how to use it in order to connect with your customers, and also make sure you're connecting with other. Don't make it all about you. Make sure you find people that you want to follow and you can connect to, and you can like their photos also. Oh, excuse me. So I see we're running out of time, and I know I went through the end of that really quickly. It's a lot to learn, and it's a lot to know. I hope you were able to at least get that 101 education that I was talking about. We talked about 4 specific things. 1 of how to use keywords to increase the organic search so you are found online. 2 is we talked about the importance of having a professional website, because once people find you online, they want to see that you have credibility. They want to see what experience they're going to have when they come to your restaurant. They want to make sure you have a professional image. You also want to have a positive online reputation. What others are saying about you online is extremely important, and you want to do everything you can to make sure it's positive. And then you want to figure out ways of engaging with customers and attracting business with Facebook and Instagram. It's a lot of stuff. And I'm open for any questions. Our next webinar is going to be on a Monday morning also, December 5th, and that's increasing sales by building strong customer and community relations.
Great. Thank you, Janet. Feel free to ask your questions. You can enter them on the chat panel of your GoToWebinar screen. In a second here, I'll unmute the lines in case somebody wants to verbally ask a question. But we did have a couple questions that people typed in. So one of the questions that came in, Janet, any tips about how to find and then keep a great webmaster or a digital marketing consultant?
First of all, there's a lot of bad ones out there. You want to find someone that has experience also in the restaurant business. And that's one reason that I just gave you this information, because I think now that you have it, when you interview someone, you'll have a better understanding of what your needs are, and you can actually target what you need and see if they're familiar with it. Once again, that's why I think, and it's a great question, because you need to hire a professional. And once again, I'm happy to speak with you. That's something that I work, with my customers on. That's part of my consulting business. And with social media and the websites right now, it's becoming an increasingly important piece of the puzzle. But I think knowledge is power. And, if you have someone in mind, or I think the most important thing you do is interview and find someone you're comfortable and, who has the restaurant background, because they'll give you more than someone who doesn't.
Great. All right. If anybody else has questions, feel free to enter them in the chat. I'll unmute in a second here for anybody who'd like to ask them verbally. One more, though, that was entered on the chat. Can you suggest some strategies for targeting boosts or ads in Facebook? Are there particular demographic things, or that you found particularly useful or effective?
Well, it really depends on what style your restaurant is, what is the price point of your menu item, what is the experience you're creating. So once again, if you're a family style restaurant, you can go into the targeted advertising and find people that have children. If there's a median, if you know that you're a fine dining restaurant and you're looking to focus on people who can afford your restaurant and have a really great experience, then you can target by household income. I love the fact that there's so many different opportunities, and think about when the colleges are all up and running and maybe graduation day is coming. You can actually target people to specific colleges in order to boost maybe a special that you're presenting for any graduate. So what I would highly suggest is to walk through the process of going to do a target ad and just scroll through it. Doesn't mean you have to do it. Just see what's available to you and how you can narrow it down, because honestly, Facebook probably has, as far as demographics, hundreds of different targets, ways of nailing it down. And once again, I say just go back to those keywords that we were talking about before and see how they are incorporated into who you're targeting. Once again, if you're looking for early dining specials, maybe you want to go by age, maybe target people who are over 60. I don't know, but think about what you're looking for and then figure out who your audience is and then find them in those demographics. Does that make sense?
All right, we're going to open up the lines. If anybody on the line has a question, feel free to chime in. Great, I guess that's all the questions. And Janet, I thank you so much for this very informative second session. Don't forget, folks on the line, to mark your calendars for the third and final session in the series. As Janet mentioned, it's on Monday, December 5th. Janet will finish up with a session about how to build strong community and customer relationships in order to drive sustained long-term growth at your business. The session goes from 10 to 11 a.m. and you'll use the same registration link as today's session. We've already posted the recording of Janet's first presentation on our website. It's at ulstercountyny.gov/restaurant_webinars, or if you go to the Ulster County website, you can find it from there. Today's recording will be up there soon too, so feel free to check that out in the next week or so. Before you leave, we're going to post a poll in the GoToWebinars chat window. Please take a second to respond to the poll. It'll be up there in just a second. Just a quick one-question poll that'll let us get some feedback on your experience today. Thank you all for attending, and Janet, again, thank you for the presentation. Really, really helpful and insightful.
Thank you, Tim. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Either my phone number is right there, 845-598-4760, or you can contact me by email at janetirzari@gmail.com. And once again, I know there was a lot of information, and I really know we went through it fast, and I'm happy to answer any questions via phone or via email. Please don't hesitate. Thank you for coming.